Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjanan Shalakaya Chukshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Saranyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanovistam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharyavaryam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismira Hasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamama Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradattama Shri Guru Pada Padama Nitarila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Sata Sisirmada Shla Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shla Gurudeva, and to my worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitarila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Sata Sisirmada Shla Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. Continue reading from Sri Ramananda Samvada, chapter about Srimati Radhika. So in the previous lecture, we started to describe a little bit about Srimati Radhika's qualities. We read about all the 64 arts which are displayed during Rasa Lila, of which Srimati Radhika is the most expert one, of course. Sai Mahabhava hoy Chintamani Sar Krishna Vancha Purna Kore E Karjatar Mahabhava Chintamani Radhara Swarup Lalita Sakitara Kai Vyuharupa Radhapati Krishna Sneha Sugandhi Udvartan Tati Ati Sugandhi Deha Ujjala Varan. Well, there are so many shlokas there. I'm going to just skip it and go to for the translation. So Mahabhav is the essence of all perfection and is like a wish-fulfilling desire stone. Its only business is to fulfill all of Krishna's desires. Sri Radha is the topmost spiritual gem, and the other gopis, such as Lalita and her direct expansions, Kaya Vyuha. Shri Krishna's affection for her is like a perfumed massage, which makes Sri Radha's transcendental body brilliantly lustrous and fragrant. Sri Radha takes her first bath in the shower of the nectar of compassion. It is called Karunyamrita Snan. The first bath in compassion. She takes her second bath at midday in the nectar of waves of fresh youth, means Tarunyamrita, Tarunya Lavamrita. And then later on, Radharani takes her third bath in the nectarine ocean of bodily luster. This is Lavanyamrita Dharasnan. Let me come back to the, yes, that is the order. First Karunyamrita, Tarunyamrita, then Lavanyamrita. First Karunyamrita Snan means when she bathes in her own compassion. It's not like, it is physical, but also symbolic. And the second one is Lavanyamrita Dharasnan. She bathes in the waves of fresh youth. And then the third one, she bathes in the bodily luster, the beauty of her bodily luster. So she wears a garment of shyness in the form of a very fine dark blue silk sari. So the color of Radharani's sari is dark blue. It represents her shyness. Srimati Radharani's affection for Krishna is her upper cloth, which is reddish in color. That's the one that she covers her head. You can see behind there is Seva Kunj paintings there. And then she then covers her breast with a bodice comprised of a overwhelming affection, pranaya, and jealous anger, man, for Krishna. Srimati Radharani's personal beauty is the reddish vermilion, the saffron powder known as kumkum, placed upon her body. Recently from India, I brought one incense made out of saffron, kumkum. It's a very, very expensive and very fragrant, like pure, It costs about 1,250 rupees a package. Yeah. While the other ones cost about 200, 250. And it's a wonderful incense, wonderful. It can, give such fragrance. I have never, felt that before. Really, really strong. Even if the packet is just open, it makes the whole room completely, fragrant, because it's pure saffron, pure masala. Very nice. Her affection for her sakis is sandalwood pulp, and the sweetness of her gentle smile is camphor. These three combined, camphor, sandalwood pulp, and kumkum, are smeared over her body. So therefore, all these three ingredients are very, very important, very significant in the service, of Krishna. Amorous love for Krishna is the fragrance of musk, and special decorative pictures drawn with that musk nicely decorate her entire divine body. Concealed sulkiness and her unsubmissive leftist mood constitute her hairstyle. The quality of Dhira Dhira, an indignant heroine who greets her faithless beau sometimes with wry politeness while rebuffing him with ambiguous words, and sometimes with harshness, caustically rejecting him, is the silk garment covering her body. Her attachment for Krishna is the reddish stain from betel nuts upon her lips, which causes them to shine brilliantly. So, yeah, this so the ornaments on her body are the forms of her 8 types of fully blazing devotional ecstatic transformation, sattvika bhavas. The other sanchari bhavas, 33 transitory emotions that swell from the ocean of sthayi bhava, headed by jubilation. All these ecstasies are like the decorations that beautifully embellish her body. These bodily ornaments constitute 20 kinds of ecstatic symptoms, beginning with Killa Kinchita Bhava, a mixture of 7 moods: pride, desire, crying, laughing, malice, fear, and anger, that manifest simultaneously. Her transcendental qualities, such as sweetness, are the flower garland hanging upon her whole body. A supremely beautiful tilak of good fortune adorns her forehead. You know, sometimes some devotees say that Radhika does not have tilak. I don't know if you have heard that. I heard the first time one Bengali sannyasi, he was telling to some Russian devotees that Radharani does not have tilak. And then they asked me later on, I say, no, there are many descriptions of Radharani's tilak. Many. Sometimes made of chandan, sometimes also made out of musk, sometimes made out of other things also. A supremely beautiful tilak of good fortune adorns her forehead. Her various loving moods, such as prema vaichitya, are the various gems from which her necklace is composed. And her heart is the locket of her affection, which nicely decorates her. She rests her hands on the shoulder of a Saki, who represents eternal, fresh adolescence. Radha Sakis, who always stay close by her, are the forms of her various mental activities, which all dwell upon the pastimes of Shri Krishna. Within Srimati Radharani's palace, which represents her bodily beauty, in her is her bedstead composed of pride itself. She's always seated there, thinking of Shri Krishna's intimate association. Shri Krishna's name, fame, and qualities decorate her ears, and his name and fame flow continually from her speech. Shri Radha induces Krishna to drink the honey of amorous pleasure, and she completely satisfies all his desires. Her body is exactly like the valuable jewel of completely pure prema, the only object of which is Shri Krishna. These unparalleled spiritual qualities always decorate Shri Radha's transcendental body. So this is the translation of all those verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, actually. So Shri Radha is Mahabhava Chintamani Swarup. She is the embodiment of Mahabhava, and it's just like a wish-fulfilling spiritual jewel. As a Chintamani fulfills all of one's desires, so Shri Radha fulfills all of the desires of Brajendra Nandana Shri Krishna, who is the hero of unlimited universes and the crass jewel of those who taste ecstatic devotional mellows. If Shri Krishna has any desire to taste the rasa of associating with the gopis who are opposed to Shri Radha, the Vipaksha gopis, then Shri Radha manifests herself as Chandravali, and in that form fulfills her beloved's desire. All of the Braja gopis are personifications of the different moods of Shri Radha. In harmony with Shri Krishna's particular desire, she presents herself accordingly. Therefore, she's being compared to Chintamani, the wish-fulfilling gem. The queens of Dwaraka and the different incarnations of Lakshmi are all Shri Radha's pastimes expansions, Vaibhava Vilasa. Some are Amsha, parts, and some are Kala, part of part. Shri Radha has assumed all of these various forms. Thus, they are her non-different bodily expansions known as Kaya Vyuha. Each of these forms is always happy and alert to fulfill each of Shri Krishna's desires. But only Chintamani Swarupa, Shri Radha, can satisfy all of his desires. It also remembers that question that I think Jadav Govinda Prabhu put about Lakshmi Devi, you know, why Lakshmi can desire. Because in ultimate sense, they're all expansions of Radha, and so they all somehow or other have this propensity to also love Krishna and feel attracted by Krishna, all of them. So here, the term Kaya Vyuha signifies the multiple distinct forms that are manifest simultaneously in order to perform a variety of different activities. Each Kaya Vyuha body is similar to the original one. Shri Radha Sakis increase the wonder and astonishment of the love-filled pastimes. Shri Krishna's affection for Shri Radha is such that it is extremely fragrant. When Shri Radha recalls Shri Krishna's astonishing love, her entire body becomes supremely fragrant and brilliantly radiant. It means naturally she emanates and produces this fragrance, this perfume. It comes naturally from her body. Like we Badajivas, we produce bad smell, right? If you don't take bath just one day, you don't use any type of, protection, any type of cream, things like that, then what will be the result? Very bad. But Srimati Radhika's body naturally produces this wonderful, very sweet fragrance, which sometimes feels like musk, sometimes feel like, many flowers, things like that. She is the confluence or meeting place of the three currents known as Karunyamrita, the nectar of mercy, Tarunyamrita, the nectar of youth, and Lavanyamrita, the nectar of beauty. So these are the three baths of Srimati Radhika, right? It's just like you have the Triveni Sangam, the meeting place between Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati in Prayag. So in the same way, Srimati Radhika, she's the meeting place, the Sangam of these three rivers in which she bathes, thrice a day. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2:164 states, Paradukha Saho Yastu Karuna Sanigadyati. One who cannot tolerate the unhappiness of others is called merciful. When an adjective is formed, the noun mercy becomes merciful. In addition, the nectar of mercy or Karunyamrita is a wave upon the current of prema. And it is in this nectar of mercy that Shri Radha takes her first bath. It is very auspicious to bathe in the early morning in a river, as it makes the body extremely smooth, glistening, and soft. For this reason, Shri Radha takes bath in the waves of the nectar of compassion, first thing in the morning. Early morning indicates Shri Radha's age, known as Vyasa Sandhi, the conjunction of two ages. And at this time, all the restlessness of infancy, means balya, and childhood, oganda, disappear. So it means that compassion begins to manifest. When you are not more a child, you become a little more concerned about others, because child is very selfish. Child is very centered, right? And is a part of the beginning of the recognition of, that I am, living, I am existing. So parents and the whole whole society just, make the child completely self-centered. Everything to the child. The child does not actually realize what is social conflict, what is, internal conflicts, what is the problems of the world. She does not know about that. But as soon as she steps out of that infancy and childhood, then automatically what? The awareness of others' pains and conflicts and suffering arises, right? So automatically you begin to feel somehow compassion for them. So at midday, Sri Radha takes her second bath in Tarunyamrita, the nectar flow of just rising youthfulness. Upon completing her morning bath, Sri Radha goes to Sri Nanda Baba's palace, and after preparing edibles for her treasured Sri Krishna, she goes to Sri Radha Kunda to bathe. Making some excuse to get away from his friends, Sri Shyama joins her there. As soon as Sri Radha catches sight of him, his body automatically blossoms with ever-fresh youthfulness. Now they very expertly perform boating pastimes, water sports, and other water pastimes, Jalabihar. And lastly, they take an ecstatic bath in Sri Radha Kunda together. This bath is full of wondrous, mutual loving sentiments. After this midday bath, the waves of youthful nectar cover them both. And Sri Radha's natural youthfulness becomes fully blazing. So you see, that's why we also wake up very early and take a bath before any service, before arati, before chanting Gayatri and other things like that. First thing, we should bathe in the morning, right? Because we are followers of Srimati Radhika. She is always ready for service. In the same way, we are also like in that way. So then midday, she again will come to Radha Kund, and that is her second bath. Mukta faleshu chayayas taralatvam ivantara pratibhati yad angeshu lavanyam tad yuhochate. Ujjvala Nilmani 10:28. Just as one can perceive the luster of a pearl from any direction, similarly, one can see the heartfelt devotion sentiments radiating from within the body of Sri Radha. These bhavas make Srimati Radhika's beauty shine even more brightly. Even as she goes to meet with Sri Krishna in the night at the appointed meeting place. Her budding youth is exceeding beauty, and exceeding beauty manifests fully. It is by this Lavanyamrita, the nectar of her beauty, that she fulfills all the desires of her most beloved, giving him the topmost happiness. It is in this flow of Lavanyamrita in the evening that she takes her third bath. Coincidentally or not, sannyasis, they must take 3 baths every day. Yeah. So therefore, Sri Radha is the root cause and shelter of all mercy, youthfulness, and beauty. As she approaches her budding fresh youth, her body takes on a sense of gravity, and very naturally shyness starts to make its appearance in her. What does the meaning of take on a sense of gravity? It means the bodily limbs begins to grow, the parts begin to grow, showing this teenagehood is there. And so to cover her femininity, she wears a dark blue sari, which is the actualized form of the amorous mellow, or Shringar Ras. It appears as if her shyness has wrapped her entire body with the blue cloth. Over her sari, she wears a veil the color of the rising sun that represents her attraction for Shri Krishna. Sadhana bhutam mapiya kuryam nava navam briyam rago bhavam nava nava so anuraga itirate. Ujjvala Nilmani 14:146. That ever fresh, all consuming attraction, raga, which itself causes one to realize one's beloved in a novel manner every moment, is called anuraga. So a very deep attraction is anuraga. the always imagining that you are with your beloved in such and such romantic place, in that scene, in this and that, this type of, what to say, imagination at every moment. Since Sri Radha wishes to remain constantly absorbed in this anuraga, she always covers her upper torso with a red cloth. So this red means the color of anuraga, right? At all times, she is beautifully decorated with 16 decorative items. Shodasha Shringar. A bath, a shining jeweled nose piece, blue cloth, an ornamented belt around her waist, a braid, swaying earrings, an ointment of camphor, musk, and sandalwood smeared on her body, flowers decorating her hair, a garland about her neck, a pastime lotus in her hand, tambul in her mouth, a spot of musk on her chin, kajal on her eyes, tilak on her forehead. Dolphins means that, makara, but in her case is the female one, makari, the aquatic animals on the flag of Cupid. That is a type of, river type of dolphin. Drawing musk on her pinkish cheeks, and her feet tinted with red dye. So this is all the 16, basic decorative elements of Srimati Radhika. 12 more ornaments, Dwadash Abharana, beautifully decorate Srimati Radhika's body. So this is, the first one is Shringar, okay? And second one is Abharana. Perhaps you remember that song, Abharana Mandita. This is a Ramani Shiramani song. It also describes this one there. So first one is a type of Shringar. In English, we will say everything as ornament, but in Sanskrit, there is differences. The first is Shringar type 16. Now 12 types of Abharanas. An effulgent jeweled crown, large golden earrings, a golden waist sash, a silver necklace, small golden ear studs and hairpin, rings on her fingers, a neck ornament, and bangles on her wrist. Upon her chest is a glittering chain. Upon her arm are amulets, and on her ankles, and toes are jeweled ankle bells and toe rings. So these are the 12 abharanas of Srimati Radhika. The following transcendental qualities are always within Srimati Radhika's possession. She is wonderfully beautiful to behold. She is situated in the prime of fresh youth. She has restless eyes and casts sidelong glances. She is always adorned with a mild, sweet smile, and the soles of her feet are marked with enchanting lines indicating unlimited auspiciousness. Her bodily fragrance maddens Krishna. Her singing of the fifth note equals the sweetness of a cuckoo, and she is expert in the science of singing with music. She speaks sweetly. She is expert at joking. She is humble, merciful, extremely clever, and expert in all activities. She is shy and follows proper etiquette. Thus, she shows respectful behavior to her superiors. This respectful behavior is of three types: inborn, learned from others, and deemed proper by her own deliberation. She is patient, grave, expert in knowing appropriate rhythm and tune, and possessed of ecstatic symptoms such as hav and bhava. She demonstrates the highest form of love called Mahabhav. Seeing her, the hearts of all the residents of Gokula flood with prem. Her fame is spread throughout the universe. She is most beloved of her superiors. She is controlled by the love of her girlfriends. She is the most prominent of Shri Krishna's beloveds, and Shri Krishna always obeys her orders. That is the best one, right? That's the crown jewel of all the qualities of Srimati Radhika. Okay, so very beautifully, all these, bodily descriptions, personality descriptions, moods, ecstatic symptoms of Srimati Radhika. In this way, we end up this Radha Tattva chapter of Sri Rai Ramananda Samvada. Okay, so we're going to stop here and then we will continue next with the Prema Tattva chapter. Okay, Hare Krishna.